There's something undeniably powerful about what you say in silence. Not the words you speak out loud for others to hear, but the ones you whisper only inside your mind. The ones you repeat when no one's watching. These silent repetitions carry a unique vibration. Pure, focused, unfiltered. They move past the surface and into your energetic field without resistance. And when chosen with intention, they begin to shape reality in ways the conscious mind can't fully explain. Bob Proctor often emphasized that your thoughts are magnetic. Each one sends out a frequency, and that frequency begins attracting experiences that match it. But thoughts spoken silently, when they're not filtered by the need to perform, convince, or sound right, are often the most aligned with your true emotional state. That's why a mantra repeated in silence holds such energetic weight. It doesn't just move through the air, it moves through the subconscious. When you repeat something inwardly, especially in moments of calm or stillness, you're not just thinking, you're imprinting. You're communicating directly with the deeper layers of your being. And those layers are where manifestation begins. It's not about volume, it's about vibration. The quietest mantra, when felt, echoed, and believed, can move more energy than 1,000 words spoken without alignment. You might underestimate this at first. You might think, how can repeating a phrase in my head do anything? But energy doesn't respond to effort. It responds to frequency. And silent repetition allows you to bypass noise, bypass resistance, and send a clear, coherent signal into the field. A signal that starts shifting your inner world, and soon after, your outer world too. The mind may not see the change immediately, but the energy does. It listens, it responds. And when the signal is held long enough, steady, quiet, and true, the universe begins to adjust. Reality bends, subtly at first, and what you once whispered begins to echo in your life, louder than you ever expected. Every thought you think is not just a passing idea. It's a pulse, a frequency sent into the field that surrounds you. And most people never realize this. They think of thoughts as private, harmless, internal. But in truth, thoughts are signals. They broadcast who you are, what you expect, and what you're ready to receive. And when a thought is repeated, over and over, especially in silence, its vibration becomes stronger than most actions ever taken. Bob Proctor taught that everything vibrates, everything moves. Your body, your mind, your goals, all of it is energy, operating on specific frequencies. And if you want to attract something into your life, you must first match the frequency of it. That's why the mantra works. Not because it's magic, but because it's mechanical. You are tuning your vibration into a new signal, and the field around you must respond. But the mantra is not just something you say. It's something you feel as you repeat it. Not out loud, not forced. Just quiet, steady, clear. You let the words move through you. You let the meaning rise beyond logic. And as you do, your energetic broadcast begins to shift. The mantra becomes the new code your subconscious runs. And once your subconscious accepts it, your reality begins to follow. Here is the mantra. Repeat it silently, not once, but often. Let it settle. Let it echo. Let it replace the noise of doubt. I am now aligned with the unseen forces that shape my reality. Simple, direct, deep. When you repeat this mantra, especially in stillness, you're not just thinking a thought, you're sending a signal. And when that signal is held, not desperately, but confidently. The frequency begins to work on your behalf. The shift doesn't always come with fireworks, but you'll feel something soft change inside. That's the resonance beginning to move. By repeating this mantra, you're no longer asking for change. You're declaring alignment with it. And that, energetically, is the moment when things start to move. Not because you demanded it, but because you became the version of yourself that naturally receives it. Reality doesn't begin when you see it. It begins long before, in the quiet layers of your subconscious mind. This is the space where beliefs live, where assumptions form, and where vibration is stabilized. You can visualize, you can journal, you can dream all day long, but until your subconscious accepts something as real, it will not enter your life. That's why the mantra matters. Because it's not just repetition, it's reprogramming. Bob Proctor dedicated his life to teaching that the subconscious mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in it, whether by intention or by habit, will grow. Not instantly, but inevitably. Most people unknowingly plant fear, doubt, limitation, and then wonder why life repeats itself. But when you choose, consciously, to plant a new vibration, something subtle but irreversible begins to shift beneath the surface. When you repeat the mantra, you're dropping a new code into that soil. Not a wish, but a signal. And the more you repeat it in silence, the deeper it roots. The subconscious does not argue. It does not question. It receives whatever is repeated with emotion, and it begins to adjust your perception, your decisions, your energy, all to stay congruent with the new message. So when you say, silently, "I am now aligned with the unseen forces that shape my reality," you are doing far more than speaking words. You are rewriting patterns. You are introducing a new energetic truth into your system. And the subconscious, in turn, will begin to shift the way you see yourself and the way reality responds to you. You may not notice the change right away. That's how the subconscious works. In silence, in shadows, in whispers. But one day, you'll look around and something will feel different. Opportunities arrive. Timing improves. The energy around you begins to soften. That's not luck. That's alignment. And it all began the moment you chose to rewire your vibration from the inside out. The real power of a mantra isn't found in the words themselves, but in the emotion they activate. Anyone can repeat a sentence, but only when those words begin to feel real do they start to shape reality. That's where alignment happens. The subconscious doesn't respond to language. It responds to feeling. And when your feeling matches the vibration of the mantra, you unlock a kind of energy that moves faster than thought. Bob Proctor always said that emotion is the fuel of the subconscious. It's what gives a thought life, weight, and momentum. Without feeling, repetition becomes routine, an empty sound in a quiet room. But with feeling, repetition becomes imprint. It becomes a living frequency that moves through your energy field like a signal beacon, calling in whatever matches it. That's why your emotional state while repeating the mantra is not a detail. It's the doorway. When you silently say, "I am now aligned with the unseen forces that shape my reality," try not to rush it. Instead, feel what those words would mean if they were true. Let that version of you rise for a moment. The version that is already in sync with something greater, already in motion, already receiving. Let your body relax into that vibration. Let your chest open. Let your breath deepen. Now you're not just repeating, you're resonating. It's in this resonance, the transformation begins. The field around you doesn't respond to your effort. It responds to your frequency. And your frequency is determined not just by what you say, but by what you feel as you say it. When emotion and mantra align, they become one. And from that unity, a new signal is born, one that the universe cannot ignore. So as you continue using the mantra, don't just speak it into silence. Speak it into emotion, into sensation, into belief. Let it become a vibration that hums beneath your thoughts. And the more often you return to that state, the more natural it becomes. Until one day, you won't just believe the mantra, you'll be it. The first changes that come from a silent mantra are rarely loud. They arrive as echoes, soft vibrations that begin inside you and slowly ripple outward. You might not notice them at first because they don't announce themselves, but something subtle shifts. You feel lighter without knowing why. You speak slower. You breathe deeper. You begin to respond differently to the same situations. That's not coincidence. That's energy reorganizing itself around a new frequency. Bob Proctor taught that repetition creates belief, and belief, repeated enough, becomes identity. When you feed your subconscious with the same vibrational message consistently, you are not just thinking differently, you're becoming someone new. Your decisions shift, your expectations rise, your tolerance for misalignment begins to fade, and that creates space for what actually matches the new signal you're sending out. Each time you silently repeat, "I am now aligned with the unseen forces that shape my reality," you're not just affirming a possibility, you're reminding the universe who you've decided to be. And the universe, always in motion, begins to respond. But it starts with the smallest layers, a change in your posture, a new thought that interrupts an old pattern, a brief encounter that feels too timed to be random. These are energetic echoes, feedback from the field. With consistency, those echoes grow louder. The people around you notice something has shifted, even if you haven't said a word. You attract conversations, opportunities, and timing that feel designed, not because life is suddenly working, but because you finally are. What was once delayed by resistance begins to accelerate through coherence. You are no longer trying to control reality, you're resonating with it. And the beauty of it all is that the work happens in silence. No announcement, no force, just energy aligning quietly behind the scenes. So if you're repeating the mantra day after day, moment after moment, and wondering when change will come, understand this: it already has. And very soon, what you feel on the inside will echo so loudly outside that you'll wonder how it all happened so fast. There's something fascinating about vibrational work. When it's done from a place of true alignment, the response from reality doesn't take long. It rarely arrives as a final result overnight, but it often shows signs within a day, sometimes within hours. Not because the mantra is a trick, but because your energy becomes so clear, so coherent, that the field around you starts shifting immediately. Tomorrow doesn't just come, it answers. When Bob Proctor spoke about the subconscious mind and vibration, he explained that change doesn't move through time, it moves through readiness. And readiness isn't about planning, it's about resonance. The moment your internal state shifts, your frequency updates, and in that exact moment, new timelines become available. The external world may still appear the same, but it's already responding underneath the surface. That's why, when you repeat the mantra, I am now aligned with the unseen forces that shape my reality. With emotional sincerity and vibrational presence, something begins moving in the field. You wake up the next day, and things feel different. You hear something that speaks directly to a question you had. You cross paths with someone unexpectedly. You feel lighter, guided, timed. These aren't coincidences. They're confirmations. The first signs of change are often not dramatic. They are precise, aligned moments, shifts in tone. A message that arrives right on time, a problem that dissolves without explanation. These are the universe's way of showing you. You've entered the frequency. You've been heard. And when that happens, it means you're no longer waiting for reality to change. You're becoming the version of yourself it was always meant to respond to. So if this message found you today, and if you choose to repeat the mantra in silence, not just once, but from a place of feeling and belief, don't be surprised if something in your world feels different tomorrow. Not because it's magic, but because you finally stopped sending mixed signals. And now, the universe can finally respond clearly.